I'm going to go ahead and get started here and let me see if I can share my screen. All right, so I've been out. I had another engagement this evening, but I've been kind of keeping a little bit of an eye on the weather as I was out, and I'm back now and wanted to just do a quick video just kind of updating on what's going on as far as severe weather. And let me switch here to just a single screen and just kind of look at a big picture here of Mississippi and Alabama. So we currently have a number of supercell severe thunderstorms. Supercells are thunderstorms that have rotation within them. The updraft, the part of the storm that's building, is rotating, and several of these supercell storms, particularly across Mississippi, have produced significant tornadoes this evening. And I want to start off by looking at the one that's currently ongoing, which is here right in south central Mississippi near the town of Monticello. Um, this storm has been tornadic for quite some time, and has had a persistent debris signature. Luckily, as it's moving into Monticello here, it looks like the rotation is actually getting a bit weaker. Although we can still see the debris signature, but the debris, uh, that's what we're seeing here on the lower left hand screen where my cursor is, in dual polarization data, correlation coefficient data. Basically, you can see the debris in the radar data because the debris is different sizes and shapes. And as it's lofted, the radar can detect that. And this has had a prolonged debris signature now for quite a while. But luckily, here, as we look at the rotation here on the upper left or the upper right and the lower right, they seem to be weakening somewhat. So even though we have a lot of debris swirling in the atmosphere, hopefully the tornado is maybe not quite as intense. It may be doing what we call occluding and recycling. In other words, we may be seeing the initial tornado start to weaken as a new tornado might develop farther to the east. And there's some signs of that here to the east of Monticello. But this storm has been producing a, a significant tornado now. Get loop going here. I know this loop's going way back. So let's stop it here. So if we zoom in here, we can see that this storm uh, started producing a significant tornado uh, well back here, to the southwest of Brookhaven, which is a pretty sizable city at the intersection. That's the one problem with the loops. It wants to update when a new volume scan comes in. But we could already see a debris signature back here as it was crossing into Lincoln County, which is the county to the southwest, or the county that Brookhaven is in. And we had a large debris signature with very intense rotation as this tornado passed just to the south of Brookhaven, crossed Interstate 55. This is Interstate 55 here that it's crossing. And it's basically been continuing as a significant tornado all across Lincoln County, just to the south of US Highway 84, and then moving up into Lawrence County, uh, which is Monticello is the county seat of that city. And you can see it's been starting to weaken a bit just as it was approaching Monticello, with some signs of new rotation starting to develop here farther to the east. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. This is really like the third significant tornado that has occurred in the last few hours across southern Mississippi. We also had another, why my cursor is not moving here, but we had another, there we go. We had another significant tornado back around 7 p.m. and just before that started back to the southwest of Purvis, Mississippi, and by the time we got to um, 7:07 p.m. here, looking at the various rotation and dual polarization data, we can see strong rotation here just on the uh, west side of Purvis and signs of a debris signature. And as we go forward, as this tornado crossed near and just to the north of Purvis, you can see the debris signature uh, gets pretty intense right here, just as the tornado is crossing. I believe that's US Highway 11 there. If somebody from Mississippi can remind me if that's the case, because this is Interstate 59 there, just a bit further to the east. It looked like the tornado was starting to weaken a little bit as it crossed 59 just to the south of Hattiesburg. So then we also had another tornado back further to the southwest of this one that's tracked from southwest of Brookhaven into uh, the Monticello area. This tornado developed southeast of Natchez shortly before 7 p.m. You can see there, this is as far back as my radar goes. This is 6:51. And where I'm circling here is where we had the strong rotation, very strong rotation with a very pronounced debris signature in the dual polarization data. And this tornado moved across southern Franklin County, Mississippi, which is a relatively rural area. It's the home of Chitta National Forest, but obviously still plenty of residences scattered around that area. I have not yet seen specific damage reports yet, but I'm sure there's been substantial damage with all three of these tornadoes. Um, and unfortunately, it's probably not over yet because if we look, I'm going to see if I can get this thing to pop forward now to the current period, current time. Turn the drawing off. Oops, went too far. So we've still got this potentially tornadic supercell here, right in the south central part of Mississippi. There's another intense supercell here that just crossed into southwest Alabama, into northern Mobile County. We also have another potential supercell evolving here back again to the southwest of Natchez. And there's still a couple of strong to severe storms also roaming around here in central Alabama and Mississippi, particularly this intense looking storm to the west of Demopolis or near Demopolis. It's not warned at the present time, but it has been warned. All these storms still have the potential to produce tornadoes. And if we look at the latest high resolution model, which is just coming in right now, the high resolution rapid refresh model. This is the significant tornado parameter that I have called up here. And essentially, this is a parameter that combines how unstable the air is across an area and also how much low level wind shear there is to support rotation. So it's a proxy that meteorologists look at to get a quick idea of how favorable the atmosphere is for tornadoes. And if we look at this over the next several hours, we can see that um, the significant tornado parameter remains quite high here across southeast Mississippi and building into southwest Alabama. This time here is 2 a.m. and it's still pretty favorable for tornadic storms here across southeast Mississippi and southwest Alabama. So as these tornadoes continue, or excuse me, as these supercells continue to move east over the next several hours, there's going to continue to be a significant tornadic risk with them. So we're going to be watching this closely as time goes on this evening as these storms continue to evolve. It's not unusual for severe storms like this to persist in the south well past sunset, and it looks like tonight is going to be another one of those nights as low level winds continue to increase across this region. We're going to continue to have a tornadic risk. So, like I said, I just wanted to do a quick 10-minute uh, kind of flying by the seat of my pants update on what's going on with the severe weather. There's a chat box here that you can type questions in. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. I see Ray, you asked about the Pine Belt. Yeah, all of these storms are pretty much down in the in the Pine Belt region from the Homachita National Forest in Southwest Mississippi over into the Hattiesburg and uh, Purvis areas. So that's kind of been the area where this regional tornado outbreak has been outgoing, or excuse me, has been ongoing. So, any other questions? Yeah, Jim, that initial supercell that started southeast of Natchez, um, never completely got its act together, but there have been several that have continued to follow. And I don't know if any of you've been in the chat that I had going earlier. The Warn on Forecast system from the National Severe Storms Lab seems to have done a really good job in in highlighting that this area was going to be at significant risk this evening. And I'm still have the chat going. And if you're on this live stream, you're a paid subscriber. Feel free to join in the chat. I'm going to continue to post occasional updates in there, and feel free to ask any questions or share comments in there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We're right at 15 minutes. Unless anybody has a last question, I'll give about another 15 seconds. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for your support of Balanced Weather, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks.